You know what I think? Not bad. I said DBs had a really good day today. You know, watching them, some experience, and especially as you get going, you know, they're guys that have experience. A couple guys made some nice interceptions, good breaks on balls, breaking up balls. You know, and overall, you know, I mean, you like guys, John Banks' leadership and the maturity that a Corey Broomfield has. You know, I like seeing that out there. For actually Lewis Watson, you know, when you have some seniors there, it's pretty good. Slay, I thought, was good. You know, I think Slay is a guy who has a chance to be a really good player now that he's in the program. You know, I think the thing that hurt him last year obviously was getting in so late. And then the young guys, you know, there's some talent at the young DBs, and the great thing is they're watching these older guys perform and how they're doing it, and you know, I think that's going to help them a lot to improve very quickly.
Is that almost not say perfect situation, but at cornerback, you got three seniors, and then the Tavez and Jamerson, and then behind them the young corners you brought in just from that stepping stone.
Well, all of them, even Tavez and Jamerson, are still young. You know what I mean? And they. You know, so it is great to have that the guys that play. One of the great things as a young player, if you can watch or learn from an older player, that's a fantastic thing for you. You know what I mean? One of the hardest thing is for coaches to explain how they want it done, and you have to go do it. Coaches explain how he wants it done. I mean, I'm not talking about sitting in a stand sometimes, but that's part of it. I mean, that's part of it. I'm talking the whole picture, running on and off the field, your demeanor, how you look. It's easy to tell somebody to do it, and then if you hear a coach tell you how to do it, and then you watch a guy that has done it and performed at the highest level, and you can see them actually do it, I think it helps in learning.
After the spring, and then obviously what you're singling out Darius Slay today, I'm sure it wouldn't upset you guys at all to have Banks and Slay on the field and being able to have Broomfield there at safety as well.
You know, much like O-line, you know, I mean, you want to get the best guys on the field. You know, and I mean, in nickel situations, obviously for us, it allows you to do that more, and we'll play a lot of nickel in games that you play this year. But also in our regular first down, we've got to find a way to, if we think those are the top four guys, you know, which, I mean, you would right now think they're the top four guys. You want to make sure you can get them on the field. Again, it's a long training camp to see who else really steps up, where if it's even, then you don't have to force that.
What makes Slay so deadly here, you know, in the spring?
I just think, I mean, he's, I think he always had it in him. I mean, he's a tremendous athlete, tremendous physical player. And I think what's changed is he learned technique. You know, he learned what to do and how to do it and why we do it. And I think in the season last year, he was trying to figure it all out. And, you know, I think he would have. I think he could have been a much bigger impact player if if we'd gotten him earlier. You know, if he'd been able to go through a spring before the season, he could have been even a bigger impact guy last year.
You normally will play 2 or 3 freshmen, you know, the true freshman year. Do you see that number going up this year at all?
I do. I see us playing probably a couple more than that, but that's a pure guesstimate at this point, and who they are, I have no idea. You know, it's I think the fact we have 27 juniors and seniors right now is about right on the team. So you know, we're gonna need some young guys that are gonna have to play for us. So, but I would picture, I guess, numbers wise, when you look at balancing out your classes, you know, numbers of guys on scholarship in each class, I think numbers wise would balance out to play. Look at about 5 this year or 6, but we're not going to play them unless they're ready.
I mean, just because you had a little bit larger signing class than normal, maybe is the reason.
No. What did we end up signing class?
Well, it was 28 and had 2 leaves, so.
And two academic. 2 we didn't think academically. So 24. That is still a big class. Yeah. You know, I mean, you look at it. I mean, if everybody redshirts over a 5-year span, you know, you should be looking around. I guess you're guessing around 18 to 20 would be your normal signing class. So that probably helps it. But again, I mean, it's all judged on who's ready to go on the field. We're not going to put guys on the field until they're ready to play.
I would assume with the back four being so experienced and ready to play that you can be more aggressive rushing the passer because With Chris Wilson talking about that being a marriage, the combination of the two.
Well, you do. I mean, if you can hold up, you can in the secondary, you'll get more pressure. Even if they're covering longer, you have more time for the front four to get pressure. Or, if you have confidence in those guys, you can really come after people. So
Is it more of a byproduct, or can you scheme a little bit differently with that kind of experience?
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. And, obviously anytime in any scheme, you want to take your talented players and highlight the strength of your talents. The strengths of the players, of the talents that the players have, and you want to kind of try to emphasize that within your scheme.
Looking at Robinson and Milton, they've got a plan to get Dak on the field at quarterback. What kind of plan can you have to get those two younger guys on the field with Darius and Nick probably getting so many carries?
Same way. The way we did it last year. Greg Knox just kind of rolls those guys through, and every once in a while I want to see a certain guy run a certain play, so he'll get yelled and screamed at by me when he has the wrong guy on the field. But I don't always let him know that before that happens, so I just yell at him afterwards. How did you? I wanted this guy to run that play. What are you doing, Greg? No, I think he'll just kind of roll those guys through. Very much a couple years ago, how we started the season before Vic Ballard emerged. We're going to roll guys through to see who's kind of that guy that's going to stand out.
Josh said the other day that, there's been a lot of talk about y'all going more to the pass, and he's like, well, MSU starts with the run, so he's expecting y'all still obviously that to be a big role. Maybe people kind of forget about that.
I do. To me, ideally, I want to be 50-50.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're 50-50, you're probably a heavy passer a little bit. I think last year we were probably a little bit heavier run. You run 70 plays in a game. If you're 50-50, that's 35-35. That would be a lot of passes, maybe, to some people, and to other offenses less. And to some offenses that'd be a lot of runs, to other offenses less. But to me, I'd love to be. We come out at the end of the season and we are 50-50, 51-49. I'm going to be pretty happy.
Just looking at Josh Robinson, the guy's chest is humongous. It's just so short, and Les Kenny was saying yesterday he doesn't have a lot of tackle space. Like you can't really tackle him. What makes him a little bit different than some of these backs that are on the team?
It is, and you know what? He has a low center of gravity, so he runs low, and then which decreases his tackle surface. And he looks chunky, but he's actually, it's all muscle. It is. He's got the big butt, and it's all muscle. You look at this, it looks like he's got a belly on him.
Yeah.
But if you tap it, it's like hitting the table. So he's like a ball of muscle, and and he has a good attitude. In what I mean by that, maybe like a Dixon had with the personality. He's always kind of bubbly and excited and wanting to play the game. A high energy guy. And it kind of makes him fun to be around.
So just for him, he's got to learn which way to go sometimes.
Well, that's it. Learn the mental toughness of the game.
Yeah.
When it gets hot outside, and that, and I think that is all of a product that becomes a product for him of maturity, not a product of he doesn't want to do it. A product of understanding how to push himself to get the job done, and how to be mentally strong.
Ladarius was saying that he sees some similarities personality-wise between Anthony and Josh, and just a guy that's just always in that fifth gear kind of.
Yeah, that's just that fun and excitement, and that's why, one thing Anthony, and that's when he left, you miss it. Not that Anthony in leadership on the field. I know he had some issues in other parts, but on the field was always a tremendous leader because he just loved to play the game so much. Anthony would be a guy that he'd rather be out of practice than do anything else. And Josh has that same kind of energy when he's on the field. He's always kind of hyper and jumping around. Two-a-day sometimes though, like the tank will hit empty and then he'll stop jumping around so much. But his general personality's that way, and that's where they're very similar. Where if you take a Vic Ballard last year, he's kind of a business. They're more hyped up, and they don't stop talking and all that stuff.